guys, Amit here for Just EV, and this is the EV news of the week. Starting off with the most important news of this week is from Maruti. Now there are some rumors that Maruti might launch their first EV in early 2022, and this could be the Wagon R EV, which has been spotted on the Indian roads without any camouflage. Now in terms of the design changes, there are very slight modifications, but then it's quite very interesting that Maruti might be launching an electric vehicle, and we are totally looking forward to this announcement because Maruti is the biggest market shareholder in the automobile industry, and if they are coming up with the EV just like Tata Motors, then we might be looking at many different options and especially a bigger charging network all over the country. So we are totally looking forward to it, and let's move on to the next news. The next news is from a China-based company called as Wuling. Now they have launched a new affordable EV called as a Wuling Nano EV. Well, the name resembles Tata Motors, but then this vehicle looks like the MG's vehicle, which is the Baojun E200 or the MG E200, and it's a two-seater vehicle which is powered with a 33 PS electric motor, which offers you a decent performance. Now the vehicle is packed with a 28 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack, which can offer you up to 300 kilometers of range, and it has a top speed of 100 kilometers per hour, and it also supports 6.6 kilowatt fast charger, which takes 4.5 hours to fully charge this car. While the company is yet to reveal the pricing of the standard Nano EV, the company is currently selling only the Nano EV's Disney's Zootopia edition at a price point of around 6.86 lakh rupees. Now moving on to the next news is coming from TVS and Tata Motors. Now TVS, which has already launched a few electric vehicles, is now partnering with Tata Motors to set up an electric vehicle charging infrastructure. Now the partnership will be increasing on focusing on the solar power technologies at TVS Motors location. So basically TVS has different dealer setups and motor location office setups and basically locations, while Tata Power has a complete infrastructure to offer electric charging. So this is a place where we would be looking at setting up of regular AC charging network and DC fast charging network for electric two-wheelers. Now with this, the TVS iQube owners can charge their scooters at this charging point using the TVS Motor Customer Connect app and also the Tata Power's EZ Charge application. Moving on to the next news is from Bounce. Now if you know about Bounce, they had been a company which had been leasing out their vehicles like Uber and Ola, but then they were two-wheelers, and later they had shut them down during COVID, and finally they are back, but this time they have acquired an EV startup called as 22 Motors, and with this acquisition they are probably going into complete transition completely into an EV startup, and they will be building their own fleet of EVs. And the company is also setting up an independent subsidiary called as Wuling, which will be focusing on retrofitting the existing scooters into electric scooters. So if you have an old kinetic Honda or a Activa, you could convert that into an electric scooter, though officially using the government approved kits, and these scooters will be powered with a swappable battery. While the company has been testing a few hundred scooters, it's also looking to expand its volume to over 1 lakh scooters in this year. Moving on, Tata Motors. Now Tata Motors, according to Times of India, is looking to raise some funds. The company is already having a valuation of almost around $8 billion, and they are looking to raise another $1 billion for its EV business. They have already attracted multiple private investments or equity funds from US, Middle East and Southeast Asia. Now talking about Tata Motors, they are currently holding more than 70% of the Indian electric vehicle market, and that's because of their already successful Nexon EV and the Tigor EV, while they are also working on the Altroz EV and the Punch EV, which we might be looking in the next few months. The next announcement comes from Triton. Now Triton is a US based company which is going to set up a 2100 crore electric vehicle manufacturing facility in the state of Telangana in India. Now the company is a subsidiary of Triton Solar, and the manufacturing facility will be coming up at NIMZ Zahirabad, which is in the Sangareddy district in Telangana, and the company is probably planning to have a project which would be employing around 25,000 people and would be producing around 50,000 vehicles over the next 5 years, and this includes semi-trucks, sedans, luxury SUVs and rickshaws. Moving on to the next news is Tata Motors. Now again, Tata Motors is probably going to launch the Punch EV in the form of an electric variant of the recently launched Punch, which is a new micro SUV launched by Tata Motors in the last few weeks itself, and this will also be powered with the Ziptron technology. And since the Tata Punch comes with a single engine option of 1.2 liter, we might be looking at the electric vehicle would be coming up in probably the first quarter of 2022. Moving on, we have a news from MG Motors, and which had a new Marvel R and the 2022 MG ZS EV for the European markets. Now the new Marvel R will be available in the two-wheel drive options, and at the same time the performance variant is something which has really impressed us and which is something you should be taking a look at if you're really interested towards it. The vehicle goes from 0 to 100 kilometers in just 3 seconds, and all the vehicle variants come with a 70 kilowatt hour battery pack, which can offer you up to 370 to 400 kilometers of WLTP certified range, and it supports 92 kilowatt of fast charging, which means you can charge your latest MG car from 5% to 80% in just 43 minutes. Moving on to the next news, again from MG, and this time the MG ZS EV has got a facelift, which is a 2022 edition facelift, which comes with 51 kilowatt hour and 72 kilowatt hour battery pack options. It also has some smaller changes like a bigger 10.1 inches touchscreen infotainment system, and also if you're using a 100 kilowatt DC fast charger, the 72 kilowatt hour version can be fully charged from 0 to 100% in just 42 minutes. Again, both of these variants of MGs would be available in Europe for the next month, but maybe down the line we might be looking at this car being launched in India, because they are already having a successful MG ZS EV in India and have been launching an update every year. Now moving on to the last news of the week, and this is from Tesla. During the recent annual shareholder meeting in Austin, Elon Musk had announced the company would be moving the headquarters to Texas from California, and even after shifting the headquarters, the company is planning to increase the output of its California and the Nevada factories by 50%. Now this is primarily because the strong labor laws and the higher living costs and taxes than other states is one of the major reason for this decision, and Tesla is probably looking to have the control over the different costs wherever they can apply them. These were the most important EV news of this week. Which was the most important one for you? Do let us know in the comment section below. And this was the EV news of this week. I am Amit and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.